The new Corolla Cross. Fill it with...
New news, man.
Yes, son, I'm leaving now.
I'm coming just now.
The new Corolla Cross. Filled with life.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. There's a party in Soweto at the FNB Stadium. Kaizer Chiefs scoring goals against Orbit College. At halftime, we were unconvinced. There were not a lot of chances. In the second half, the game changed. Well done to Shabalala for 2 goals in the game. Silva keeps scoring as well, though. Some of them, and Ikadaro as well put his name on the hat. And then Mfudo Vilagazi as well with a celebration Emma 2000. I'm sure that will be trending on TikTok and everywhere else tomorrow. So well done to Kaizer Chiefs beating a team that's Orbit College. For Orbit College, I suppose success for them will be to maintain their status, try to get 1 or 3 points wherever they can. Lindo Pep, what did you make of it, sir?
Mr. Nkiu, Shapunjan.
Yes, sir.
I think Bully say technical team.
You look like a father of a house.
I look like a father.
You look like a father of a house. And dress code.
Yes, funny.
You look like you have multiple houses.
But you have there's a difference between out my singing and me throwing. You have good time and I'm well taken care of. You have good no man. Yeah, no. Not now, Mr.
No.
We are building a career. No. No. Sense of Antoine.
You're saying no.
No children. We are building a career.
Is that you or her saying that?
That's me. That's fully me.
No
chance, Mr. Nkiu. No chance, Mr. Nkiu.
Yeah,
Mr. Nkiu, man, to be honest with you, like I said, I do agree with you. But let me start by congratulating the 2 co-coaches.
Yeah.
Let me congratulate the Kaizer Chiefs players. For me today, Mr. Nkewu, it wasn't about the quality of the opposition. For me, I think it was about the mentality and the maturity of the Kaizer Chiefs team. Considering the fact that they have a continental progression, they won their previous game. They win 2 games in a row, which is good. 3 games in a row. How Kaizer Chiefs started the season, Mr. Nkewu, it's very important to mention that I did not expect them to do this well in 11 games. I think they are not far from being top of the log. I think they're 3 points behind.
Within the leading pack.
For sure, Mr. Nkiu. Some good performances, but let's speak about the first half initially. In the first half, the game looked technically very poor from both sides. But I did expect this from Orbit, considering the fact that they're coming to FNP, a big field. It's a big season for them. I think for Coach Pogiso, the season for him is about establishing an identity, a culture, which is something that has already been there, but also just to target 30 points. I think his biggest target this season should be 30 points. He's brought in players from Orlando Pirates, the experience of Umunapule Saleng, but some additional members as well. They Abo Mleleki as well as Abo Matinga. There's an experience, Ramasham Patel. I don't know what happened to the Lesotho goalkeeper, as well as Upati.
He's on the bench.
Yes, Upati, no given. There's so many players that have played in the Petro Premiership. For me, the 2 central midfielders, for example, Mr. Nkiu, they are good football players, good ball players. I understand the model that he's tried to build, which is very systematic. But for me, you need more than just ball playing skills to be a top midfielder in the Petro Premiership. We see Ngomteto playing for Kaizer Chiefs as a reference. You need more than that. You need to be, because there's a psychological profile that also you need to have. Defensively, without the ball, I would expect Ubasi, given to work a little bit more. But Mabal Petty Bola, you could see the progression, what they're trying to do in terms of finding their 2 pacey forwards. Because the game plan when you play against the Kaizer Chiefs is very simple. Not necessarily simple, because football is not that simple. They attack our 2 full backs, they put them in an advanced area. So you always want your 2 wingers to play in wide and high, so that they can always cause the danger. So every time Ubasimaga Petty Bola, that's the first pass he's looking for. The only disappointing thing from the coach, because I had a conversation before I came here, was seeing Ramam Sampahlela playing as a right winger. Because there's 2 things that you're questioning from there.
Who's a right wing?
Right wing back, Mr. Nkiu. There's 2 things that you need to question. Ramahla is experienced. He's probably the most experienced defender you have in the team. Why do you want him to defend larger spaces when you can actually allow him to put up a centre back, even if you're 3 centre backs, and you allow him at least to defend smaller spaces? Because I feel like in the second half, he made him run. And sometimes pace is an advantage in football. So for me, defensively, I saw a lot of comedy of errors from the 2 centre backs, inexperience, lack of anticipating, lack of reading the game. The 2 biggest qualities you can have.
If you watch the highlights of this game, maybe minus igoli
Yeah.
lakamfundo Vilakazi because it was great, but still, Nalo, you will see that there's so many moments where Orbit College, even the first goal, the third goal, there's so many moments.
Comedy of errors, Mr.
Yeah,
Nkeng.
as you were describing it.
Even the coach, he will learn. Upogiso, what he needs and what he doesn't need. That's why I'm saying this is a learning season from him. It's his first season as a football coach. Yes, he wants to have this distinctive, sophisticated style of play, builder from the break, breaking into midfield and having a variation in terms of the attacking players that he has. The one player that really genuinely impressed me, Ulukele. Ayi ngikhumbuze nye out bengidlala naye eCasi edlala ngo left bathi uBobo uJovis naye ayi bomalangana abamnandi on the ball. Mr. Nkeo, he knows how to peel off. He's very comfortable on the ball. He one touch. There is nothing that is more important than a quick one touch in the box, more especially masifuna ukusebenzisa as a link up play. The goal that he scored with his header is exceptional. I think kuba guy a different dimension. But now check your orbit, Mr. Nkeo. There's a tactical growth. I know I use that word a lot. But it's a team that is targeting 30 points, 32 points, 35 points at max. For me, these games are free hitters for your orbit. Win or lose. What is more positive is the second half performance. Them not allowing Kaizer Chiefs. Actually, now that I see the game has ended 4-1, for me, when you were looking the game and you were watching the game, it felt like they were in the game. Up until maybe the second half where they made those comedy of errors and they started conceding goals. Firstly, Kaizer Chiefs in the first half, just to be defensively, Ulentuza, Aiden McCarthy, we spoke about it last week. He's going to have to improve defensively, but on the ball, the boy looks good. Ukasi na Victor Kwinyeka, I have to give him credit because he's one player that I was hard on.
Call him Victor.
I always call him Victor. Zita Kwinyeka. Zita Mkasi, you've played very well in my opinion. I think as well, Umonyani, this is something that they're going to have to identify, and this is something that it needs coaching. The boy has injuries, right? We all understand the fact that his career has been filled with injuries.
Sure.
But now on the ball sometimes. He can be a liability on the ball. Sometimes uyakwazi against izinto right, besa pass opponents. Same thing ngomthetho. That's why I'm saying in the first half the game disappointed me from a technical perspective. Passing, receiving, going into space, movement, precision. That's the only thing that disappointed me. Another thing that disappointed me in the Kaizer Chiefs team was the slow ball retention. Another thing, other than that as well, in the attacking lines, they were off the ball movements or a little bit from Umthetho, from Ucele. The only person that played genuinely well, in my opinion, the entire game is Umtu. I think Umtu, even the goal that he scores in the first half, the late run into the box, finishes in the second half, he's got impact. Yes, the only thing maybe he can change in his game is Kichumane Pole in midfield. But other than that, football is you can't perfect every action. In my opinion, he's one of the players that played exceptionally well. Uvila in the first half, he did not have a good game. And I have to be honest with him. Every time, Magatolama 1v1 situation, I did not see him, or he failed rather to eliminate an opponent. Or sometimes he was looking for a difficult pass. But in the second half, he came a little bit sharp. I think the coaching instruction was solid because he knew exactly what to do in the first half. Umatiba, he took him to the cleaners. That goal that he scored is very important. Technically, the boy's got a special left foot. We are left to educated. Uvelepai, to be honest with you, it's his first game. Young players, I don't want to break him because he's a young football player. I can see the idea of him having pace, running, bringing the ball with his left foot. But at Kaizer Chiefs, you need more than that. There's a certain outcome as he pegile from Gwe. He's brought in with high expectation. We're expecting Uvelepai to be at least closer to what some of the Orlando Pirates boys used to have. Nkocha, Rilem Fukeng, you know what I mean? Based on the profile and what the media is telling us about him. He comes to Kaizer Chiefs and you're already having the expectation. But when you watch him, you actually see a player that there's a lot of work that needs to happen. Ukros, another thing also, Mr. Nkeo, another player that has impressed me, Cross, I'm going to be honest with you. And I need to give you Autamu Makaba. So Makaba last season, we were very hard on Cross. And he sat down with me. He said, look how Cross is cut. And watch him. And ever since I've been watching Cross defensively, I think also, Mr. Nkeo, this thing is very powerful and it's something that we need to emphasize. There's players who are good in defending smaller spaces. But when you ask Cross and he's responsible for bringing a cross and then coming back to defend, you're asking him to defend a larger space. That's not his strength. Ask him to defend a smaller space and play him based on his qualities. He's a fullback that plays like a midfielder. Lindo Pep Jr., that you can even see that he looks like a player that has played in midfield in his development career, Mr. Nkeo. But other than that, Ikataro, not really convinced in my opinion. Other than that, it was not a game where you can sit here or stand here and say an exceptional football game, but you have to give credit to Kaizer Chiefs because they turned the dominance and they turned it into goals. Because the biggest question for me, for Kaizer Chiefs was the frame of winning 1-0 results gets this thing, or we've got this feeling that it's not convincing. It doesn't build the momentum as well because you don't have the reference and the reliability of saying, oh, I've got players that can score. Scoring 4 goals gives me confidence. It builds momentum as well. It builds confidence to the coaches, to the players, to the fans as well, because that confidence, that psychological confidence is very important for the football club and where they are moving. Number 2, there's tactical growth at Kaizer Chiefs. And this is something that I want to see. I said to Uzo last week, Masamba ngathi, I will choose to see Kaizer Chiefs as a top 4 team. And for me, that will actually minimize my level of, or that will minimize or be lenient in terms of how I look at them and how I criticize and how I judge them. Me looking at them as a top 4 team, the run that they've been on, this has been a very good season for Kaizer Chiefs. They have started the season very well, but if you choose to look at them as a title contending team, then you're going to criticize them. But if you look at them and you analyze them for who they are and where they are for as a football team, then it makes my job a little bit easier, because for me, what happens from this season is what's important at Kaizer Chiefs. But the foundation is already laid. There's tactical growth. The players that have been brought in are system, but also individual brilliant players. Umtu now is coming into the party. Uvila is coming into the party. We need to see more Fulilepo. We need to see more Castin. When he comes in, he adds value. The strikers are starting to score goals. Flavio is scoring goals. The injury Gamayo. So for me, there's a tactical evolution, tactical growth that's happening at Kaizer Chiefs, but you choose how you want to see them. Amarangisepulile, Mr. Nkiu. Usayivala or ngiqhubeke?
Ayasifuna amankazana. Ebhedini. Amankazana asifuna ebhedini. Asifuna ebhedini amankazana. Phela ixesha.
Congratulations to you, Kaizer Chiefs, Mr. Nkiu.
There you go. Ngingayixophi noyixopha. Hayi, uyityile umntana wami. Anambuzo. Uyihlala utyile anambuzo. Iphelile video. Well done to Kaizer Chiefs. Thank you very much for watching us.
Shapunjani bafowethu, igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Vilakazi, they call me so. Niyazi bafethu, Amakhosi for life, they are back in winning ways. Please, siyacela ukuthi subscribe iDiskiTV.